It is Sunday, August 4th, 2019, and this is another episode of the Cryptocurrency Bull Market Watch. Bitcoin prices rising and Bitcoin dominance is increasing and crushing the alts. The gap is widening. In this episode, we'll take a look at our big six, and then we're going to see what's going on with the top volume traded coins on Binance as well. If this is your idea of a fun Sunday afternoon, grab a glass of water and settle in for the next half hour for this show. Thanks for tuning in. Let's start off by taking a look at the disclaimer. This isn't trading advice, even though we're talking about buying and selling. It's just market observation. Now, the first scene here, we'll start off with Bitcoin. We've got the 4-hour bars here, and we've got the 5-minute bars here. So every time it makes a double top, I'm looking for a Bart Simpson. Every time it makes a 1, 2, 3 top formation, I'm looking for it to pull back now that it's been charging up this little trend for the last couple days. And all of the indicators were giving us positive, positive, positive. They still look positive, like it's going to be popping to $14,000, $16,000 soon and just blasting off. But at the same time, I'm always watching for these top formations. Hey there, Limar, good to have you along. Now, before I get too far in this, let me know if the sound is okay. Got a few people tuning in. That's awesome to see. And I also want to test out, where did it go? I'm just learning how to get all the software working. So if you subscribe while we're on the live stream, you get the happy dance for subscribing. So that would be great to have a few of those happy dances come and startle me, because it's a loud dancing jingle in my ears. Hopefully you let me know if you heard that subscription jingle thing there too. All right. So we'll come back and we'll take a look at what Bitcoin is doing. In the meantime, I want to point out that Bitcoin longs were at their highest right here on the 26th of June. And then they were at a peak again on the 10th of July, right here. And then they peaked right here on they're peaking right now on the 4th of August rather. And this is important because every time that the longs are way too overdone, price usually comes back. We'll have to see how it's going because it really looks bullish. Now, the purpose of this episode is to start getting prepared for doing long and short trade alerts for everything traded on BitMEX, because we don't have to just buy low and sell high. You can sell high and buy low, and you can do it on leverage. So presently, we are doing a cryptocurrency trade alert package for Binance and for Poloniex, and we're actually testing out our crypto trade signals right now on a public blog that you can follow along with. And you can find that link in the description down below this video, so you can see the stream of the alerts that we've been doing for Binance and for Poloniex. And now we're starting to tune up for doing alerts for BitMEX. So what we're looking for is your help to help us test this out, to be sure that it's working on a timely basis and that it's doing what it's supposed to do. So head over there and check it out. Follow along with what we're doing. Now, the way I'm going to go about doing that is to review these charts using the trading plan that I always use, the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, along with the trading indicators that go along with it for testing it out. And right now we have a set of 4 indicators. We have the relative strength index, the on-balance volume, lazy bear version, the MACD indicator, and right now the Ichimoku Cloud. I'm kind of skeptical about the Ichimoku Cloud. And if you have a different indicator that you think should replace that on a daily basis to go through each of these 6 coins, so that we take these 4 indicators and we go through these 6 coins every day, every day, every day, long or short, long or short. What should we do? Where do we go? Long or short? Then, hello from the Netherlands, Andrew. Good to have you here. I'm glad you could hear the jingle. Now, let's get into it. Let me know if you've got a different indicator that you'd like to see. So just for mapping things out, there's no trading signal to go here, not long or short. Actually, there was a short trading signal right there. It was an exit of a long and a short signal at the same time, right there. that there's no signal in between here for me. Now I need to wait for it to create a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. And I just want to pay attention to differences in the relative strength index as we're going through this. And the key thing is the trend of the relative strength index, not just the divergence from the top that we saw here. That was good, but the break of that trend is also really key. And I think it's a pattern that I've been neglecting, to pay attention to the trend of the RSI. And when that trend breaks, there's something changing. So when we have lower highs, and it breaks that trend, it's right at the moment that something has changed. When that trend breaks, it's right at the moment of the 1, 2, 3 formation. They're really turning out to be pretty amazing, actually. Now, I want to continue on through the indicator set just so we can go back to this one day if we need to. Selling and selling, no turnaround for a buying signal here on the 4-hour time frame. If I zoom in to the 1-hour time frame, and there's no trading signal here until this builds some structure. And it may be the same for all of them, that now that they've made this new number 1 point, that needs to retest and break above these levels. And then even then, it's going to be a fake out breakout. Everybody's going to be so excited that it may want to wait for it to pull back and give us a verification that it's not just another fake out breakout and a continuation afterwards. Fake out breakout continuation. We don't know how far down it's going to go, but we'll watch for that structure to set up. Now let's go to the next indicator. Same thing. 4-hour view is where the main, what are we looking at? ADA, BitMEX. Why does this chart look dramatically different? ADA, BitMEX. Okay, that's better. Needed to reload. So again, let's pull up the indicator. There'll be no way this can turn around yet. We have to have that structure, and these indicators ain't doing it. And again, the Ichimoku Cloud, you can see this is down below new lows. It's creating a whole new number 1 point, so it's going to take a while for ADA to get back up. And if we go and look at Bitcoin dominance, it is just coming up to test these old highs here, and a break above that is going to be Blast City. And what I mean by that is that there is no support and resistance in the Bitcoin dominance chart from the 67% level to the 79% level. So if Bitcoin does take off from here, it may just be super panic and capitulation lows that we never dreamt of in the alts coming in as they're going back down to, dollar value that they were back in 2016. We'll see, and we'll watch closely as this unfolds from day to day, because this is where, when it turns around, it's going to give us it'll finally give us some signals. So now over on BitMEX, we have Cardano we just looked at. I'm ignoring Bitcoin Cash, and let me know if I should ignore Bitcoin Cash or not. But right now, I don't have it marked. Now let's take a look. Hey, wait a second. EOS is not coming down to new lows. This is really good because it gives us a chance for a springboard pattern entry to be setting up here in the next couple days. We don't have to wait as long as with ADA for EOS. Now EOS with the 15-minute bar. Okay, that's why I'm going. There we go. So we have a bottom here, back to a double bottom. So if we get a 1, 2, 3 formation setting up here, this could give us an earlier entry. We'll watch this over the next few days now. Hey, Jack. I'm slow learner. I read your name yesterday as well. Hey, Snow from the Netherlands as well. Let me know, guys. Where are you guys? And that's I hate when people say that over and over again, but let me know where you're from in the world. I'm from the middle of Canada. It's a summer day. It's beautiful here, so I want to get through this stream and go for a walk and have some ice cream. What I'm looking for now is increased the unbalanced volume to pick up and go positive when we have this 1, 2, 3 formation set up. This is going to take a few days. We'll come back and watch it again. Not really looking good with the MACD indicator. It's kind of looking weak and negative. So maybe more than a few days for this to set up. And if it breaks two new lows, we just sit on our hands and keep our funds in Bitcoin. There's no action to be taking. Not a chart formation to do anything. There are chart formations for action, but most of the time they say don't do anything. Ethereum down to new lows, but it's down to these wicks here. You can sort of rationalize that it's a double bottom-ish. And the relative strength index is down to oversold areas about the same. The good thing about this is that the RSI is giving us a nice trend line, a very nice trend line. So then when that breaks and we get the bottom formation, that's going to give us a tip the hat, you know. But we can also see here verification again that the break of this RSI trend line, when we have the divergence on our top formation, on the break of the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, it's a real key indicator that it's a fake out breakout and it's not real. It's just a consolidation in the downtrend, which is the big risk of trading the 1, 2, 3 bottom formations. And one of the reasons I ascribe to a risk control plan that helps protect you against the worst case scenarios. 4-hour time frame for Ethereum. I do want to zoom in on this, but you know, there's nothing set up here yet. It's breaking to new lows on this short time frame. This needs to set up more. It's good to see there's some buying volume coming in this last little bit. Minnesota, beautiful country. You can hay twice there in Minnesota. Up in this area, you can only hay once a year. Farming tip. Ethereum. What is our MACD indicator doing? We're really looking for the divergence here. And I guess then if I want to know, I'm experimenting now, and you tell me if this is something you pay attention to. I've been watching for the crosses of the MACD indicator and watching for higher crosses, lower crosses, and divergence in the crosses. So if we have lower lows and this is higher lows here, that would be a divergence, and I would be all over that. As we have this being flat and this being a divergence, I'm paying attention to those things. But one thing I haven't been doing very much is watching the trend in this indicator. Let me know if that's something you do as well for the MACD. Now, looking at Ethereum through, what is my mouse doing? Ethereum, really, this is terrible. There's no buy signal here. And you know what? Actually, their Ichimoku Cloud would give us the sell signals in a downtrend. It would be giving us the sell signals in a downtrend on the 1-hour time frame when we have the blue line cross above the red line, the price comes back up to the cloud, then the blue line crosses over the red line again. So it kind of did it here as prices touched the cloud, and then the blue line separated from the red line and stayed all the way along. As it's coming up and touching and the lines are crossing, as they pull apart, that would give us another sell signal in the downtrend. I'm not jumping on it. Not when we're coming down to new lows, though I would buy into something when it's breaking to new highs. When it's coming, I'm just sitting aside and I'm just going to wait for the bottom formations in all of these. And it may be a while. This is what we're doing here. Litecoin is another one, like EOS, that it may not be that long because we have a double bottom here. That means that if we get a little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation shaping up on this right-hand side, it gives us enough structure to be basing a trade off of. So if it gives me this 1, 2, 3, and then it comes above it, there's a reason to start off with a small bit of the trade, especially since we're coming off of this bottom. One thing I don't have is the big long-term chart up. Okay, we'll do long-term tomorrow again. Because then it gives us the beginning place to get in. And of course, I'm fake out, breakout wary now. Kind of been shot at too many times with them, so you're really paying attention and putting in a little extra safeguard. After the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout, maybe I'll just hang out and watch for a bit and wait for it to do a retest and show strength. If it comes back and retests and fails, then it's a good thing I didn't get in yet. You know, I'm sort of filtering out one of those entries just because they're so wild so much now. The second thing that is really important is to know that this, when the trend changes, oh, look at that top. Expand this out. Go to a 1 hour time frame. Sure, that's good enough. When the trend changes, it seems written, right? It seems pre-organized. And somebody drew the line on a chart and said, okay, when it hits here, we'll just change it and off it goes. So when we do hit the bottoms out of these altcoins, I'm assuming we're going to be continuing the trend. We're going to get our initial buy signal. It's going to come back and it's going to give us the buy signal in the Ichimoku Cloud uptrend. So I can start off with a little bit of my position. I can get up into a profitable spot, put my stop loss above my original position. Now I've got, I don't know, I feel like it's sort of like throwing down a mattress from the second floor before I jump out of the window. It's giving me that little bit of a cushion down below before I put on the trade, like the bigger trade. Now we're in a trend. It's sort of like a straight stretch on the racing track. This is where the nitro gets put on. So the bigger trade is put on here. We've got a little bit of cushion to protect us. And now our actual real trade is on here. That way we're always smaller when we're wrong and we're bigger when we're right. And statistically over time, it really works. Protects your butt against the things that can take us out of trading and then opens up the throttle when things are going our direction. Right now is not it. Let's go. This is the RSI. So just check the RSI. We've got it recorded now so that we can come back and see today to see what the RSI trends were doing on this time frame. 3 hour, what is this? 4 hours, the main one I want to be setting on. And Litecoin, next indicator, just to blast through these to get it recorded. And I want to be a longer time frame. Let's do the 4 hour so that we can, takes a bit of juice for the volume to change to make this go from a negative selling to positive selling on the 4 hour time frame. It will occur sooner on the shorter time frames, but it doesn't necessarily mean it has enough juice. When it's happening on the 4 hour, especially the 12 hour, then we know it's real, especially when we have this structure over there. So not yet. Litecoin and the MACD indicator are not friends. It's not looking like it's going to be stopping right here and holding up. We'll see. Tomorrow, we'll zoom in on this again. Let me get this. We'll zoom in on this and see if this indicator crossed positive and if our histograms went positive on the 4 hour time frame in Litecoin MACD indicator. Litecoin Ichimoku Cloud, negative, not going through it. And this is the 1 hour time frame. I was going to zoom in and say, hey, I want to look at the one hour time frame is the one I want to look at for Ichimoku Cloud. And it's not doing it for us yet. It's still, like I say, it's got to make the structure of this bottom formation, and it's perfect placement to do it. If that's the case, and we go to a longer term, the RSI should be giving us a divergence in the longer term. And this chart doesn't give us much of a longer term. We'll do longer term again tomorrow. Tron. This one has been sort of the sour, not the favorite one. And yet, this chart pattern is starting to look like an important wedge. So watching the RSI break from that point is interesting. On the 4 hour time frame, let's go in to see what the other indicators are saying. So there's a lot less pressure in the selling right now on this 4 hour time frame. It's not gone to positive, but we did get a little hint of it here. So I don't think it'll take much positive buying to start picking this up. This, to me, I think is one of the main coins to be paying attention to. So I don't know how long it'll stay down once things start to go. Now the MACD is looking pretty good for this. This was one of our most sour coins when I first started out this specific stream to go over these 6 coins. This was looking not so good. Now it's actually holding a bit of a divergence here that's going to play out to be important over the next few days. Let's go over to TRX in the Ichimoku Cloud. There we go. So where is this? The green line, this trailing green line is going through the blue and the red. It's cut them both. Now the blue line has crossed above the red line. It's just touching again now, but that's the conversion line going over the baseline. We've got a 1, 2, 3 setting up, and we've got a twist to the positive. All this good stuff happening in the 1 hour Ichimoku Cloud that we were not seeing in the other coins. I love it. This is great. We'll follow what this one does, but there would be no trading signal until it broke above, maybe here. So there's the two different options again to filter out the potential for the fake out, breakout, and continued down. But this is looking good. So a small bit of the position here, knowing that we know that this is, once it starts to trend out of this channel, where's my channel trend? Once it starts to trend out of this channel, we know it's just going to make a channel up the other direction because somebody's already drew it out somewhere and it'll just start trending up. So we know that we'll have a place to be able to add on our main position. We're just starting out to, so we're not going to FOMO. We've got a little bit, right? We've got a little wee position. We're making our profit gains. We don't have to jump in with everything. We know we've got our spot, our foot in the door. When it hits and it's starting to go, then we hit the nitro button. And I'm talking to my subconscious, of course. You probably already know this stuff. And make it a habit. Now let's go to Ripple. Double bottom, so this is looking as good as Litecoin, a little better than Litecoin actually, which is surprising to me. I'm not so crazy about the stuff about Ripple, but if it makes the formation, I'll trade it. This is potential 1, 2, 3, and I like what the RSI has done over here on the 4-hour time frame. Let's go on to Ripple in the on balance volume. Not picking up as strong yet on the 4-hour time frame. If we zoom in and cheat a little bit, okay, I'm glad. But look at this, lots of selling, and then on balance buying. So it does give us a nice clear 1, 2, 3 formation to be starting to play with and think about our position entries. Always the same for me. I'm looking for the break of the 1, 2, 3 formation backed up by all of these indicators. And I will likely be in on any one of these two. Probably this one. I'll probably err on the side of a smaller position and getting in sooner because when Ripple does go, I don't know, it seems manipulated to me. So if you get in with a small position on the earlier part, you're taking the risk and then you can add on the nitro button later. I am glad you're here, No Jack. And if I'll read that again. No DAC Go Jack. No DAC Low Jack. Okay. No DAC Low Jack. I'm glad you're here too. And I'm super happy to teach this stuff because I think the killer app for Bitcoin is the fact that people like us can micro trade and we can start using these systems, these methods of making money work for you. The wealthy people already know this. They teach their kids this stuff before they're going to school. We don't learn this stuff in school. Nobody taught this stuff to us. And so now that we have Bitcoin and there's all its decentralized money and we can start trading for so easily that like the barrier to entry is really easy. It's easy to get involved and you can start off with just a few bucks and start working on your percentage gains and not your dollar gains. The dollar gains will take care of themselves over time. But if you keep on the percentage gains, keep on these specific things. And when we get to the end of the show here and we go over the altcoins, I'll share some more with you there too. How to make this into a habit that works over time, that it doesn't take a lot of your time during the day to manage it. So then your money is working for you rather than you working for your money. Your money isn't your boss. You are the boss of the money, and we want to put it into a way where it's working for us while we're doing other things. That's the key, while we're doing other things. If you're sitting there looking at the charts all day, you're probably trading incorrectly. It should take 10 minutes a day at the most, and then you should be off doing other things. Let your money work for you. Don't keep sitting there working for your money. I say to myself while I sit at the charts all day. Positive crossover. It's probably because I'm teaching as well. I don't trade every day. Bottom formation. We're looking at Ripple, and I like what the MACD is doing. I like it. So this is actually warming up pretty good. It's the best of the coins we've looked at so far in the setup and the crossover of our formations. Maybe not. Tron was looking pretty good here. Now, Ripple on the 1 hour bar. also looking pretty good. Look at this. As I zoom in on Ripple, right at the very edge, just like Tron, this trailing green indicator line has crossed both the red and the blue line and the indicator has crossed to the positive here, and we've got a twist to the positive. So our 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 formation now is giving us a very clear place to be starting out building our position. And if we know the long-term view of Ripple, from 3,000 Satoshi as it is right now, back to 8,000 Satoshi is like nothing of a move in this coin, which would be enormously profitable. We'll watch this play off. I'll bet you it'll take off. Now, the rest of the show here, let's go take a look at Bitcoin dominance breaking out. 66.85%, going to new highs here. Pushing almost past where we were here in the past on July the 16th. And I found this interesting, that July the 10th was one of our highs, but Bitcoin dominance continued to go up until July the 16th. And if we go to Bitcoin price, and we see July the 10th, and then Bitcoin dominance continued to rise until July the 16th. While Bitcoin prices were going down. That means alts were dropping faster than Bitcoin as Bitcoin was dropping. So now that we are stopped at this RSI level for Bitcoin, and this RSI uptrend has broken, and we're sort of, let's see here. Could be something going on in Bitcoin. We'll keep an eye on this. Let's zoom in a little bit. But now I want to finish up there we go. There is a break in our RSI. There's another break in the uptrend of the RSI right here as we're happening. It is sort of curving off. You know, if you throw a ball up, it seems to be losing momentum there. Now to finish up though, I want to make sure that we get this, even though I'm going on a little bit here, I want to go on to the altcoins, because what's going on with Bitcoin dominance is being played out here in the altcoins. And this is where I want to show you a bit more for, hey Eric, good to have you along. Diamond Stanley, good, yes, Bitcoin is dropping. And we'll flick back to Bitcoin here in a second. We'll watch this top formation. I love 1, 2, 3 top formations. And it is compelling when it starts to go to stay here and watch it go, because it's up on the stairs, down in the elevator. So if this is a proper top formation, it should be just going. You don't have much time to make your decisions on top formations. You got to know the 1, 2, 3 top formation in advance. And again, I always recommend start off with a small bit of a position, knowing that if you're correct, it's going to take its time and there'll be a place to add on the big hammer to put on the nitro. Always start off with that small position. As Bitcoin is going up, we know Bitcoin dominance is going up this last while, and lots of the alts are making 1, 2, 3 bottom formations, or like double bottoms right now, where they made a bottom on July the 16th, because this was where Bitcoin dominance was the highest. Then they came up a little bit. They looked like they were going to be breaking higher. They looked like a few buy signals actually, and now everything's all crushed right back. Many are making new lows, but a bunch of them are making double bottoms here. And I think the ones that are making the double bottoms are the most likely to be taking off if we are going to be turning around right here. So what we're doing is we have a Patreon group where you can get all of this data that I'm going to share here right now in a second. And you can get this so that you can log in daily and keep track of this stuff. It's going to be the most powerful thing that there is out there in the cryptocurrency trading markets right now for us traders, because it's going to stop us from FOMOing in. It's going to tell us when the exact time is to put the nitro on, as I'm saying. So what we're looking at here is that there are 23 markets in Poloniex that are at fails. They're down to new lows. They are making new number one points. We have 22 markets that are nearly failing. They're making those double bottoms. They're could be ready to turn around. We only have 7 markets that are neutral. That means they're like within the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and haven't broken down or haven't broken out yet. And we still have a couple markets that are bullish over on Poloniex. But as I slide this back, you can start to see the real data where over time, this really shows us when the bull market is in, when we should be holding alts and when we should be holding Bitcoin. Simple question. Should I hold alts or not? Yes, when these colors are green. No, when they're a different color. That's it. So here we can see that lots of coins are in fail status, red. They're down to brand new lows, the lowest prices they've been recently. And a whole bunch of them are in near fail status. A bunch are in neutral status, very few alerts. And then time goes on and we're in the middle of February here and it starts to change. All of those failed coins are picking up. They're not even nearly failing. Now there are a bunch of neutral coins getting ready and they start to transition over into alerts. Those alerts turn over into hold coins and we can see throughout this spreadsheet all of the green, sea of green here. This is where it's a bull market. It's time to be holding altcoins. And I don't know if I have the other spreadsheet handy right away. I do. Look at this. So here's our results from our actual trading alerts that we did in December, 162% gains. January, 240% gains. February, 825% gains. March, we lost a little bit. And then April, everything was cold fish and, everything was cold fish. So we moved down here. Everything was all looking great here right till the end of March. And then boom, in this unlisted time, everything went bearish. And now we can see here as we pick back up here in March or April 29th, we're all at brand new lows, major fails, some neutral, barely any alerts. We kind of perked up here the last little while where we were off of our major fails and near fails, and we were picking up into more neutral coins and a few alert coins that we're setting up. But as Bitcoin has taken off this last little while, it's slouched right back down. So we can see here July the 10th to July 15th was the most bearish. And now we're right back down to those same numbers again, almost. There was 35 fails there, 34 fails. Now we're down to 20, so it's not quite as bad. But we'll know as this progresses over time, this spreadsheet is going to tell us when to get in, not just for Poloniex, but also for all those markets on Binance. We have 65 markets in fail status, 55 of them in near fail, 28 that we're watching most closely because they are in neutral and they could be taking off and moving up to alerts first. So we already see the split in the cryptos. Even though they move together as a wave, there is going to be a first wave and then there's going to be a second, maybe a third wave of coins. And our goal here is to be on that first wave and riding it at the right time, getting out at the right time so that we know that we're not holding the bag as things take off. And I love doing the studies. I know it's made some crazy profits for me in the past, so that's why I study this stuff so hard. Here is a graphical picture of this over time where we can see the red are the fails, oranges are the near fails, and they're right back up. This bottom chart is the fails and near fails added together with the alerts and holds added together. So it's bearish or it's bullish. We had a little bit of the bullish come up and right slammed back down to all bearish as everything is holding down. But now, as we've seen, as we went over our original coins here, Litecoin, Tron, and Ripple actually had a little bit of life in them. They might be coins that would be taking off first. When we're looking at the margin traded coins, look at Bitcoin dumping. When we're watching the margin traded coins over on, what a mess, on BitMEX. Jump into the 1 minute view. Oh, so that short trade out of this 1, 2, 3 top formation, if you were ready and you put on a small bit of your trade, you could have your stop loss just before your entry now, and you're going to sit on your hands and let it come up and hit your stop and kick you out and try again later. Or if you are correct, of course, it's going to go down on the elevator and there will be a place where it's going to come back up, and the Ichimoku Cloud on the short time frame is going to give us the insight as to what to do. Let's go jump into the short time frame, Ichimoku Cloud, through the cloud. And now we'll be watching for a sell signal in a downtrend, for it to come back up and then pull back. And on this time frame, even it's not it would take quite a while to come back up to the cloud, touch it, and pull back in such, like, it's got to consolidate a bit. It's got to come down, touch on these levels, and break them again for another add-on to this, in my own thinking. I want it to confirm a little bit more. Let's zoom out a bit more, because it could be just coming back to another buy signal in an uptrend. So now that I'm short and I have my stop loss just below my entry, I want to stay there. I'm just going to hold my breath, basically, and wait for it. If we come back up and we're doing something like this, there may be another place to be taking the real short, because then we're getting out of that 1, 2, 3 top formation right in here. A head and shoulders, right? There's your little head and shoulders formation that would be building up. We already have our tiny little 1, 2, 3 on the top. Let's watch this unfold. Never-ending drama. It's like watching the World Cup soccer. You can't take your eyes away for a second, because that's the second that the goal is scored, the pass was made, and everything all happens. Let's go back to the live dashboard. And the last thing I want to finish up with here, so that we have a structure and specific things that we go over during parts of the show. We go over Bitcoin, we go over the big six, we talk about how the alts are in general, using that the patrons bull market watch. We talk about the alerts and the alert notification blog, and then I want to go over some of the coins that are top volume traded, just because they're top volume traded. So let's go over to, we'll come back to this chart. I'm going to leave it open. Binance, Link, 1 year. Wait a second. Actually, there was something I was supposed to do in this show, and I should have started off with it right at the beginning. In addition to me testing, the alert box, there was a comment below the video yesterday. A guy said, like, with Bitcoin dominance rising and all the alts going down and down and down, why are you doing videos about Bitcoin, about the price of the alts versus Bitcoin? Why don't you look at the alt versus US dollar chart instead? It's looking more favorable. And the reason I always look at the Bitcoin price chart is because I'm trying to trade in such a way that I'm growing the number of Satoshis that I have, not the number of dollars that I have. And the reason is, the theory is, Bitcoin is going to be going up in value like crazy when the US dollar is not. And so I feel like there's a magician holding a trick in front of me when I'm looking at the US dollar charts for a coin and I'm ignoring the fact that the coin is going down against Bitcoin. So I'm sort of consoling myself to be a bag holder when really the number of Satoshi I hold of this coin is equal to the number of Satoshi of Bitcoin. If I sold it into Bitcoin now or I kept it into the coin, it's the same number of Satoshi of value in Bitcoin right now. It's equal. So I could trade back and forth. The question is, which one is going up more? Which one is going to grow my Satoshi? Holding it in Bitcoin so it stays stable because the alts are going down, or holding it in the alts. And there's a specific time to hold it in the alts. And our spreadsheet shows it. It shows it graphically so that you can see exactly when to get in and exactly when to get out. Well, even you can see it getting closer. It's like watching a Great Bay airliner coming into land. You see it. Okay, here it comes. It's here. It's coming. And there comes it. Touchdown. There it is. Okay, now we do our trade. And I think this is better to do it by looking at Bitcoin than the US dollar because of that reason, because Bitcoin is going to be going up and up and up. Wow. So the short position of mine just got closed and saved my butt from holding it. Well, it's not proving me correct now. It should have gone down on the elevator, or it's being rejected and I don't want to be holding a short. So if I had been fortunate enough to get a short and my stop below my short, I'm out and I'm happy with it. If I had gotten a short and I hadn't put my stop in yet because I was kind of waiting for it, I might hold my breath until just a bit more, but if it's not proving me correct, I don't want to hold it. I don't want to hold something that's not proving me correct. It should prove me correct right as I do it, because we're looking at the 1, 2, 3 formation. We have the formation, we got the indicators backing us up for that moment. And if it's wrong, get out, because you're wrong probably 7 out of 10 times just throwing a dart at this stuff. So that's why the position sizing strategy is probably more important than your whole trading plan. You could flip a coin. Do I go long or short? Use the position sizing strategy and you'll end up winning in the long run. Smash that like button, Limar says, and I appreciate that. That's great. That's your fee for watching here. Hit the subscribe button. I'm waiting for this animation to come up while we're streaming along here. So what we've covered, and I got right off track for Link. Whoops. Link is in an enormous uptrend. It's at the beginning of something much bigger. It could have volatility that we haven't seen yet. It really could be coming down to these old support and resistance levels. And so when making a trading decision, this whole range has to be considered. That if you're wrong, you don't want to hold it unless it proves you're correct. We want to get in at the right time, and then don't hold it if it's not going up right now, because it'll definitely make a big drop here, and that's a good 40% of the whole trade. Let's zoom into the 12-hour bar. So now we're starting to get into the detail, and I want to see the 1, 2, 3 formation. I want to see it retest these levels. I want to see it break out above it. Let me get rid of all these lines. And then when it breaks above it, I want to have my indicators like we see here starting to confirm it all the way through. So I do the same routine for all of these as I'm seeing this downtrend, and I see the 1, 2, 3 formation potentially setting up. So I don't want to get excited when it's doing a move like this that's in the 4-hour time frame. Those happen too much. Oh. Hey, thanks for being here, Andrew. See you next time. And thanks for subscribing, Limar. That's awesome. Scared me. 1, 2, 3 formation. When Link goes above this, you know the routine. If it breaks above, we could buy it. If it comes back and retests that, that's even better for an entry. And we'll come back and we'll check out Link some days to check out all these different indicators to see how they're all setting up. Let's see now. Where are we? 42 minutes on the stream. Great to have a dozen people along. I appreciate you guys. I think we'll wrap it up now. We've went through our main charts, and I want to keep it clean, cleaner than this actually. This is longer than I want to go. So that way it's easy to come back to an episode from the past, and we know the structure of the show. We're going to go over Bitcoin. We're going to go over our 6 main coins that are going to be trading on BitMEX, and we're looking for longs and shorts. And those longs and shorts are going to be, first of all, published and shared on the /BitMEX tag over on the alerts notifications blog, so that when a stop has been reached or the entry has been reached, those kind of details are published here. And they're just rough. This is just the beta version of it. We've already got a whole list of improvements for this, and I want to add your ideas. If you've got an idea of how to improve these alerts, I'm all ears. I can't wait to program it in there. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Pretty crazy. Now that it's below this level, that becomes resistance. So we have this break, and it pulled back, but now this is another sell point that it's come back up. If it's hesitating here and starts to break down, it's giving us more evidence of running out of steam. So it's really gotten stronger in the sell signal. If it is coming back down, and I just got kicked out of my short signal, and it starts to go down below here, okay, now I try again with that same small position size, just in case it's going to be going down on the elevator. I want to stand ready for this, the bat on the shoulder, ready to swing if the automatic machine hits a ball to you to hit, you know what I mean? But it doesn't look like it's coming back for a short sell. Looks like we're continuing on higher. So there we go. All that preparation, and then you can just go, okay, next plan. It's going to be breaking higher. So then where's my nitro? This is the buy signal in an uptrend. This is a buy signal in an uptrend, and we're coming into such an important level. It is crazy. Just because of the support and resistance from the past. So a break above that is probably going to be a fake out, just because everybody's going to be on it. So the pullback into these ranges, I don't have it as easily set up here. Just the basic parallel channel. The bottom of the parallel channel for me is the better entry. All of these areas, not across the top of it. I want it to come right over to the edge of that uptrend, and then give me the indicators. Show me across this whole thing that the indicators are going along with me, and it's breaking off of this, then we're good to go. And we saw that volume come in on this spot right there. Perfect for it. All right, Snow, I think I'll sign off. Thank you very much, guys. I am keen to continue tracking these markets over time, and let me know if there's a different indicator I should use. Put all that stuff in those comments down below. Thumbs up. Thanks for the subscribe. We'll get some more going on this show. Cheers for now. Let's go, and there's never end to watching what Bitcoin is doing. There is our... If I had my short sell plan already in place, I'd still be watching. We'll be doing that over on BitMEX. But that's it for this episode. I will sign off, and I'm excited to have a very nice thank you at the end for everybody who is supporting this channel over on Patreon and through our alerts package. Cheers. I will sign off for now. Bye for now.